Hey guys, my name is Wildcard, and welcome back to my channel. So this big news that was announced today with Super Rugby in 2022. So basically due to the pandemic, the Super Rugby is splitting up with South Africa. So at the moment, South Africa is going to be playing in Europe going forward, and Super Rugby will be reduced back down to um, Australia and New Zealand. And basically, next year they're looking at ending the separated competition and bringing New Zealand and Australia back together into a same comp. And in addition to bringing the existing 5 teams from Australia and 5 teams from New Zealand together for a Super Rugby competition, they had just announced the approval by New Zealand Rugby Union for 2 Pacific Islander teams to be added into the competition. The 2 teams added are the Moana Pacifica and the Fijian Drua team. These 2 teams are basically going to be given the license to play in the Super Rugby competition, and Super Rugby next year will become Super 12 again. So yeah, I mean it's good. It's good that we've gone back to Super 12. It's a little bit sad for me that South Africa is no longer going to be in the competition. Hopefully in the future we can lure them back. I think it's a huge loss for rugby, for Southern Hemisphere rugby, to not have South Africa being involved. So anyway, the good news is we are getting 2 new teams from the Pacific Islanders, and Super Rugby is going to be combined with New Zealand and Australia again, and with these 2 teams in addition to the competition. Now let's have a look at just looking at some basic information of the 2 teams. The Fijian Drua is basically a Fijian team that is currently playing in the National Rugby Championship. The National Rugby Championship is an Australian competition. This is basically like the Mitre 10 Cup for New Zealand, but in Australia. So like this is a tier between. So in Australia, it goes Super Rugby at the top in terms of club rugby. And then it goes down to National Rugby Championship, which was established in 2017. And then below that is first grade, or they call premier grade rugby, club rugby. Prior to the NRC being created, literally the Wallaby players, the Super 14 players or Super 15 players, when they're done with, or when they're done with Super 15, they have to go back to play in their club in local comp. So the NRC is basically like a bridging competition between Super Rugby and club rugby. So that is so Fijian Duros were created to play as part of this competition in Australia. So now they're going to be given a license to become a Super Rugby team. So pushes them up the next level, and to basically be I guess an international professional team from now on, Super Rugby professional team, 1 step up. So it's pretty good news for these guys. They're all Fijian players. A lot of these guys are very talented. Some of these guys have no doubt it's going to help out the Fijian players in their Rugby World Cup going forward. So in the national team. So yeah, it's good news for them. And then the Moana Pacifica team is a little bit different. So this team is a New Zealand-based team that basically has Islanders in it. So basically, the members of this team are Pacific Islanders from Tonga, Fiji, Samoa, and these guys are basically New Zealand citizens, from my understanding. They're basically New Zealanders, but they have heritage to Fiji, Samoa, and Tonga, and they identify themselves as those members of those nations, and they play for them. So that is the Moa Pacifica team. Basically consists of New Zealand players that identifies themselves as a Pacific Islander, basically. And they are, as you can see in their team, there are Samoans, Fijians, and all these players played in New Zealand originally. Auckland, Waikato, Manawatu, Bay of Plenty. These are all New Zealand province clubs. So, yeah, good news for these guys. They're going to get some more exposure up into Super Rugby levels. So, obviously, one guy I can think of that would be potentially moving to this team is Alatoa from the Crusaders. He could potentially go into this team because he's Tongan and he's Samoan and he plays for Samoa in the national team. Oh yeah, here it is. Michael Alatoa. Yeah, he's already moved. Oh wow, look at that. He's already started to move. Yeah, because oh wow, he's currently still playing for the Crusaders. So I'm guessing he's gonna be moving to the Moana Pacifica team next year. Wow, look. I didn't even know, and his name is already there. Alatoa. Wow, okay. He's already gone. He's actually really, really good prop. So it'd be interesting to see. So that's a very, very big deal for Moana Pacifica team. That makes them very competitive. But anyway, yeah. So that's the big news coming out of the New Zealand. So apparently these two teams only been given license in New Zealand. So they haven't actually been approved by Australian rugby, Australian rugby. But I'm very doubtful that they're gonna block it or whatever. It's just a matter of time before they will approve it. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams perform. Hopefully, it'll be very exciting to see what they're gonna be doing, and they're gonna be having a different play style from the Aussies and the New Zealand teams. So be probably more running rugby, more tries, less kicking, and just big men, love to run at you with the ball. So yeah, very exciting stuff. And we'll have to wait and see for Super Rugby Super 12 in 2021. Last time Super Rugby was called Super 12 was like 2002? Maybe? I think that's the last, maybe it was literally 20 years ago, Super Rugby was Super 12. I think as far as I can remember, it was Super 13. So Super 12 might be even before the 2000. Yeah. So yeah, anyway. Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you like my updates, please like and subscribe and feel free to check a comment. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.